A cheating housewife is a potential destroyer. This housewife and the mother of three children, who is married to a successful engineer, suddenly got pregnant for the general overseer of the family church, and every effort to remove the pregnancy became unsuccessful. The husband, who was out of the country for a study leave at his workplace, came back home to meet the surprise of his life. His wife was 3 months pregnant to an unknown person. The husband insisted and doubted the paternity of the pregnancy. He also notified some members of their extended family about the incident. And finally, the couple and the extended family all agreed to conduct a DNA test after the safe delivery of the baby. But in a disturbing twist of events, the cheating housewife planned with the church pastor who got her pregnant to take the life of her own husband and the father of her three children. The pastor invited the husband to a strange place, and eventually his life was taken without mercy. The cheating housewife became relieved after the incident, believing that the cover-up plan for the shameful pregnancy has worked out and that she would now enjoy the rest of her life and her late husband's wealth with her new lover. Some few days after the demise of her husband, she already handed over her husband's brand new car to the pastor and further transferred a total sum of 4 million naira from her husband's joint account to the church pastor, who is her secret lover. Unfortunately, the deceased vehicle was traced to the pastor's house while he was already using the car, and eventually the pastor was arrested for murder, and the wife of the deceased man who handed over the vehicle to him was also arrested. 6 years down the line, in 2019, both the pastor and the wife were convicted by the Edo State High Court for murder, and they were both sentenced to be hanged after the court found them guilty of conspiracy and murder. However, in the year 2020, during the general NSAS protests, the convicted pastor and general overseer was pronounced to have escaped from the Benin prison premises. And also in the year 2022, the housewife was further discharged and acquitted of the murder case after she proceeded to the Supreme Court. Presently, the husband, whose life was painfully taken, is gone, while the wife is now a free person, and the pastor has also potentially escaped justice. Life itself is unjust, and in all that you do, never allow your life to be taken by anyone.
Can you use the confession of a co-accused to convict another person? No!
Today, she's standing here with us as a free woman.
With finance and support from lawyers, she was acquitted with claims that she was not present at the scene of the crime.
I bless God for this day, for this is the day that the Lord has made, and I will ever live to praise Him. I went in there as nobody, but I'm standing here as an ambassador of Christ.
According to the report, the deceased husband, whose name is Victor Isonguyo, during his lifetime works as a senior engineer with the Nigerian Petroleum Development Company, while his wife, Enibong Isonguyo, and his three children resides in Benin City. The husband caters for his family needs and ensures that they lack nothing in the house, as his work demands regular traveling out of the state. The wife, Enibong, spotted her husband's regular absence as a gap and decided to make up for it by getting closer to the family's pastor, identified as Pastor Prince Udoka, the general overseer of the Land of Evidence Church along the airport road in Benin City. And in a matter of time, they started making out. The pastor would take the place of the busy husband in the bedroom, and all of a sudden, the stubborn pregnancy popped out. After several means to remove the unwanted pregnancy failed out, both the cheating housewife, Mrs. Enibong Isonguyo, and the sinful Pastor Prince Udoka decided to push the pregnancy to the late husband, Victor Isonguyo. But unfortunately, the husband suspected a smart move by the wife and promised to disgrace her if the child did not turn out to be his own. He notified extended family members and was only waiting to conduct a DNA test as agreed. The husband, Victor, also doubted his 18 years of marriage with his wife and even the paternity of his three other children. And this time, he promised to carry out a DNA test for all his children before his life was suddenly taken. During the pastor's confession in court, he claimed that he conspired with the wife of the deceased, who was pregnant for him, to take the life of her husband, and that they invited him to a secret place somewhere in Sapele on the 29th of November 2013. He explained that he entered into Victor's car to meet him, where he then used the sharp object to pierce his neck multiple times until his life was lost. He then burnt him beyond recognition together with his vehicle after he passed out in the car. Victor was burnt mercilessly for questioning the paternity of the pregnancy. Both the housewife and the pastor confessed to be lovers and that they both conspired to perpetrate the acts. And aside from transferring the husband's 4 million naira in their joint account to the pastor and also handing over the husband's car to the pastor, the cheating wife had also transferred vital landed documents of her late husband to the pastor before they were both arrested and prosecuted. The housewife, who was 4 months pregnant for the pastor during the trial, later gave birth in the Benin prison, and the DNA conducted for the child shows that the child belongs to Pastor Udoka. After the Benin High Court sentenced both accused to be hanged in 2019, the convicted pastor was said to have escaped during the 2020 EndSARS protests, while the cheating housewife, Mrs. Enibong, proceeded to the Supreme Court, and based on legal technicalities, the housewife was freed and acquitted as there were no direct evidence nailing her to the crime, and she was not present at the scene of the crime. This is a lesson. Life itself is unjust, and only the living can speak out. Do not give chances for your life to be taken.